Okay, good evening, good night. So, as I've said in the previous video, this will be a microscopic examination of 4 slides, 2 from this old crucible that was used for many experiments in the past and was kept for like a month or 2 untouched, but it still got some moisture in it, some oil left. So maybe we'll see like interesting stuff. When it's completely dry, you don't see much, if at all. And this is the crucible from yesterday. It was burned yesterday, based on water from the soup from the electrolysis chamber, like from the small one that, as you remember, contained relatively very big neos, not tremendous quantity, but very big ones on average. And it was used with additional oil and a little bit turpentine and water also, and for burning yesterday. Actually burned it too much because when I stopped the fire, it kind of continued, and so there isn't much moisture in it actually. Depends on the result. Maybe I will decide to add a little bit of oil and wax and burn it again, and then stop the fire, so it will be more to have more moist, so to let the neros work with more oil. There is also a wax layer that is mixed with a little bit of oil and water on the outer circle. I didn't take a sample from this layer. Maybe I will do it after this, even though it's interesting, but maybe I'll do it after these two samples were taken mostly from the oil remnants that are inside the burned crucible. As you see, there aren't much, so maybe we need to add a little more oil and to burn it again, and this time to keep it like for short burn, so the neros will have like a material to live and to work within. So let's just start. So we'll start with 2 samples from the old crucible, from the ancient Garum crucible. Wow, so nice. The life form that you see, they're not necessarily demons, because there might be like life form that were invaded after the fire, because it wasn't lighted for a long time. But mostly, probably these are demons, because there isn't much like in this crucible. It's mostly oil, and burn material, so I wouldn't think that this is like a great place, for regular carbon-based life forms. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's a question. But we've seen nice neros already. This is a zombified life form, and life form that was taxidermied by the neros, and this is a non-zombified life form. The zombies in the house are in the apartment are doing. They are very active now. Usually, I mean, they are like, I mean, like cats. Like, I mean, you know, they are, I mean, like that they are twilight animals. I mean, they're active. Mostly the zombies are active like during the evening and during the morning. I'm not sure why, but that's the way they do most of their shows and the theatrical runs and shouting and voices and I mean throwing stuff to the ground. So don't be alarmed by that. It's a natural behavior of the zombies in the apartment. Very nice one. Nice. You see the interaction between the Neo that is kind of like, I mean, contoured and the sausage life form. Nice. We don't see tremendous amount, but I mean, yes, I mean, you should remember this is like a very old crucible, and maybe I mean most of the Neros are either like I mean swallowed in the oil, which is like submerged in the clay, or maybe they just gone with the wind literally. But of course, there's a tremendous amount of it. It's a pretty big one. It's large crucible that I had. Let's continue. We didn't watch all of it. Wow, so nice. Super nice. Let's zoom in. Nice. But I cannot, since it's like it's the end of the slide, I cannot zoom into it. Nice, very nice. I like you see the focus changes, but not on the same kind of like I mean manner. You see the life form underneath. It's very nice. So okay, we've seen nice stuff, definitely. Maybe just zoom in when we see like something interesting. Nice. Zoom in even more. Maximum light. So it's just the end of just the end of the rim. Interesting. Okay. So very nice. Really good. So yeah, I will make cookies from this dough. It's certainly a cookie worthy dough. Maybe even today, after we continue with the microscopy. But it's definitely, we've seen enough to know that this is the definitely material that is worth like at least 20 cookies. And even it will be very rich cookies. So let's take a look on the second slide from the same crucible. see, it's not exactly the same colors. It was taken from a little bit, I mean, different place. So we see it's less like golden and more like white. We definitely see Neos. I would say even more than before. I mean, more than the previous slide. So this is an example of the jam that I spoke about. So this kind of jam is what I've eaten like during 5 days, each time like maybe a spoonful of that. Like something like a spoon, like I mean teaspoon, not a tablespoon, like small spoon of that material. It looks, I want to tell you that what I've eaten looked nicer, but it didn't. It actually looks a little bit like that. And mostly it's charcoal. There's also chars in it, like burnt char. And oil, burnt oil, and of course the Nero juice that was mostly, I mean, was this concentration that is similar to what you see now, which is like, I mean, really concentrated juice, and also the demonic life forms that, I mean, with various degrees of like demonic life form between the sandwiches. I ate like 5 like pitas and buns, like I mean lachmaniot, with they said hummus, chocolate shachar, and tuna. And I think the last 2 days, also, I mean, was taken from the crucible where we had like the uranium and plutonium mixture that certainly added a punch. I think it's like, theoretically you can eat the soups as well, like I have many containers with soups, like you've seen now in the electrolysis container, but I've never eaten the soup actually, only the jam. Maybe it like seems more like, I mean, I thought it's kind of like, I mean, it will be like, I mean, you know, it will mix better, like, you know, it will be like a fusion culinary style. Fusion, it will be a good fusion with the tuna and the hummus and the pita. Good fusion. These are actually very nice Neros. Actually, I'm very satisfied with what we see. Nice. Difficult to focus here, but this is the rim of the Nero, certainly. Okay, let's get back to 64. This was the direction, right? Like that, yes. So we see, no, actually not a tremendous amount of life forms, but certainly a good amount, but very high amount of very large Neros. This could have been like, I mean, this gem could have been like, I mean, a good experiment, like to eat it. Maybe I'll eat this one even. I guess maybe before I eat it, I'll burn it, like, I mean, just, I mean, to get rid of like the non-demonic life forms, even though the demonic life forms will not be burned by the fire, but I mean, probably if I want to eat it, I'll burn it first, and then I'll prepare like a new sandwich and I'll eat it. Because it really, I mean, it's really, you know, they are so big and fat, like, it really kind of makes you, like, I mean, it gives you the appetite, like, to eat this kind of mixture. We don't see many small ones, actually, but maybe they are hiding in the oil. I mean, maybe it's because it's a thick layer, but we see very large amount of very big ones. And it should be very interesting to actually eat it. Shiny. So, I mean, I would say the ancient Garum is a tremendous success. I actually forgot about this kind of, like, I mean, no, I remember that I had like 4 or 5 crucibles, and most of it I placed in all sorts of cookies, you know, cookies like these and many others, and sculptures, like all sorts of sculptures and cookies that of course I still have almost all of it. But regarding the last one, which is the biggest, so I probably just forgot to put it like in cookies, or maybe I thought like maybe, I mean, keep it like that, I mean, intentionally, I don't even remember. I think I just forgot like to make cookies out of it. But actually, I mean, now we have we can actually create cookies like right now and also to eat it. And it actually, I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, it fermented well in the open air. I mean, I didn't keep it like in the open window, but here, like in the crucible chamber. So I have all sorts of like, I mean, the other crucibles were here. And also all sorts of sculptures that you see. I mean, cookies. These are, of course, what I call cookies. I have many. Like they are all contained. It's all synthetic clay, and inside of it natural clay, and inside of it aluminum foil and the Nero mixture from various like containers. So I have many of those. Of course, I have hundreds of those. And so that's where it was placed, but it was, I mean, open. I mean, no, not airtight at all. I mean, so actually, I think that the air actually did well to it, but you need to, like, I mean, you do feel that it's getting dry. Like, I mean, and when it's too dry, I mean, it's kaput, as we've seen in the other crucible. I mean, it should be, I mean, the oil should, so you can ask, I mean, why should the oil dry in the air? Because, I mean, it's not really drying. I think what's happening is just, I mean, it's kind of like submerged within the clay. And then, I mean, I don't know how to get it out of it. I mean, besides like burning it, I mean, because we've seen in yesterday's experiment that when there is like a mixture of clay and wax, you can actually burn it, and if the fire is strong enough, it actually separates them, and you see different sediment layers. It's actually very interesting. You can even see it right here. Like, I mean, in this block, you see, this is actually an example of exactly what I said. This thing here. So this rock is actually. It was created in the fire, and you see that there is a layer of clay and dirt that is still wet. That was the lower level, and on top, floating the wax and the oil, which were mostly burned, but so it's mostly like charred. You see the black thing is mostly charred, like, I mean, burned bivox and oil, but it's separated, and it wasn't like that in the original container. It was mixed because I mixed it. So it was separated, and then, I mean, and to liquid, and then reform to kind of like, I mean, it's just that. This is like an example of just what I've spoken about right now. You see, this is the upper layer, the burned oils. This is the lower layer, which is mostly clay and soil. And it wasn't, I mean, in the original container, it wasn't like that. Like, I mean, when I burned it, it was mixed. But because it was strong fire, and the turpentine, I added quite a bit of turpentine, and they burned for quite some time yesterday, it was enough to separate it. So the clay and the dirt, I mean, they take, I mean, they go down, and the oil and the wax go up and burns, I mean, to some extent, and then after you stop the fire, it reforms, and you get something like that. So yeah, amazing. This should be a very tasty gem, but I will not eat it like that. Probably I'll fire it. I light it first. Problem is that I don't have almost no oil at all, and I really want to keep the oil that I have to eat it. And I have no money. I have zero money right now, so I don't want to spend the oil, and so I need to think what I'm going to do. Maybe I will not eat it because I don't have any oil. I can still, I mean, you know, use beeswax, I guess. But yeah, I mean, certainly this is like very impressive, I would say, sample with large amounts of very large healthy neos. So yeah, I mean, great crucible. Nice. Very nice. Okay.